Here. Good evening. Thank you for everyone that is attending tonight. My name is Jerry Shallow. I'm President and CEO of the Rio Rancho Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we have our candidate forum. Our next candidate forum is for county, which consists of Katherine Bruch, who is the incumbent, who is not here today, as well as Jeanette Clark. Katherine Bruch prepared a letter for us to read out, which we will get in the record for today's forum. It says, Mr. Shallow, I am sorry that I am not able to attend today's candidate forum, sponsored by the Rio Rancho Chamber of Commerce. I was previously committed to attending the New Mexico County's meetings in Las Cruces, beginning on September 28th and running through September 30th. As Sandoval County's representative to the Board of New Mexico Counties, it is my duty to participate in these meetings where the association will discuss and decide positions on various state issues for the proposed legislature. It is important that Sandoval County works hard to maintain and increase its economic base, and I support the work of the Chamber and the businesses, small and large, that call Sandoval County home. Very truly yours, Katherine Bruch, Sandoval County Commission, District 1. So with Commissioner Bruch not attending, we will go through the questions that we have prepared for the County Commission that have been prepared by the Chamber and its governmental committee. This is it's a forum, so you'll have 2 minutes for your opening, 2 minutes for each question, and then we'll do a 1 minute closing.
Okay.
So our very first question that we have, Sandoval County is the fastest growing county in New Mexico. If you're elected, what are 2 to 3 priorities that you'll focus in on as county commissioner?
So are we not doing an opening?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I already messed that up. You have 2 minutes for your opening. I'm sorry.
I'm like, wow.
I'm chopped up. Let's go.
They get a prize if they guess who I
There you
am.
There you go. Please, 2 minute opening.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. My name is Jeanette Clark. I'm running for Sandoval County Commissioner to District 1. I'd like to thank the Rio Rancho Chamber of Commerce and also the Rio Rancho High School or CTE for sponsoring the event. I'm a proud resident of Placitas. I have lived there over 24 years, and I've lived in New Mexico for over 34 years. I am married. I have 2 children and 3 stepchildren, and I have 5 granddaughters, all under the age of 11. I am a businesswoman and a VP of our 29-year-old business, and I am an active community volunteer, and I have been since I have moved to New Mexico. I am pro-economic growth and pro-business, and I believe that Sandoval County has the potential to grow and become the most robust, productive, and prosperous county in the state. I am also a concerned citizen, and I believe that when your elected leaders are failing you, it's time to step up and run. Many Sandoval County citizens in my district are troubled about the current atmosphere that we're living in, which I believe is partly due to the decisions and the direction of my opponent, Commissioner Bruch, who is indeed under the influence of our current governor. We need different leadership, and I believe that all businesses are essential. I am proactive about the critical issues that our county is facing, and one of my life guidelines is that you should never complain about anything you're not willing to do something about. So here I am, and I am in the process of manifesting those words. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Okay, let's get to that first question.
Yes.
Sandoval County is the fastest growing county in New Mexico. If you're elected, what are 2 to 3 priorities you will focus in on as county commissioner?
I really believe when you narrow it all down, the economic growth and development, and the PDV, the potato The Paseo de Volcan Highway has great potential for economic growth. I really believe that public safety and crime mitigation are also important because you can't have economic growth. You can't get people here if you have a crime problem. I want people to want to come here, move here, work here, raise their families here for generations. And in order to do that, you have to grow your economy, mitigate crime. It takes funding to do both. So really, those are my two tops.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. All right, next question is, in Sandoval County, over 60% of our residents, consisting of our workforce, leave Sandoval County every day to go to work. What is it that you would propose in Sandoval County to bring more businesses and more jobs here so our residents can live and work in Sandoval County?
Well, we desperately need to increase our workforce. And I think we need incentives to bring them here. I think having opportunities for them to have, the training to do it, and that comes, you can start a trade here and make a really good living. I know that because we are in a trade and we've made a really good living doing that. So it's difficult right now because it's hard to get people to work. And I think that you have to work together on the commission to try to incentivize ways to bring them here. And part of that is going to be free training, free education, affordable housing so that they can get started as a season when they can get, something going. And then when they're at their limit of what they can, where they're at in affordable housing, then they can get something better and take little baby steps. I believe there's only, it's a theory, scientific. There's only 1 degree difference between hot water and steam. So that's very small increments. And you can make positive change with small steps. And I think when you make huge steps, sometimes you make huge mistakes. So I think if you offer those things, you take small steps. But we do need to expand the development of our workforce and attract more private industry here. Absolutely.
Thank you. Next question, Ms. Clark, is public safety has been a growing concern in Albuquerque, including the most recent report that there's over 200 gangs consisting of over 15,000 gang members in Albuquerque. That being said, your district consists of the town of Bernalillo. Town of Bernalillo has seen significant crime coming from folks coming from Albuquerque via the train, via transportation, or getting there via I-25. Mm-hmm. What would you propose if you were county commissioner to reduce the level of crime in Bernalillo and Sandoval County?
Crime is trending. And based on the reports, some areas, it's all relative because in parts of Rio Rancho, they're doing great. But down the hill from where I live, I was accosted 2 weeks ago. And it was very scary because there were 3 young men who followed me to my car. I jumped in my car, locked the door, and they were banging on my windows. And I called John, what do I do? And he goes, drive out. And I go, one's in front of my car. I'm going to run him over. I can't run him over. And I had to wait until I could back up or move forward. The scariest thing ever. We need to increase our police force. We absolutely have to. We need to give them more resources. And I know that the commission is doing a great job. Whenever it comes to the table, they're doing a great job at providing those resources. But we need more, especially in the rural areas. I live in Placitas, and so way up in there, you don't get a good response time, okay? And stuff can happen in just minutes, as you know. Sandia Park, same thing. We have to have a law enforcement presence all over the place now, and not just in certain areas. So yeah, I think we need to recruit and train and equip more. You know, we need to provide that for them. If you pay them well, I know this because we have employees. You pay them well, you treat them good, they'll stay on your police force. They won't go and jump over to another county somewhere. And we want to keep them here. We want them to have their families here. Am I past my 2 minutes? Because I can keep going. We need to ensure also that our law enforcement, our first responders, and our emergency services are up to date with training resources for quicker response times.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know it had a little.
As a little chime.
I
on it.
like that. I'm going to have to download that one.
So in Sandoval County, we have, when it comes to infrastructure, we have aging infrastructure. But at the same time, we have new roads that are needed due to our quickly increasing population. What are your thoughts and priorities for infrastructure in Sandoval County?
Well, it's tied to economic growth. It's a key component of economic growth. We can't grow our county without infrastructure development. But we also need to protect our natural resources in the process. And I think that it's kind of a catch-22. You got to have this and you got to have that. We need to find a way to get the economic growth to pay for the infrastructure. And I think that the best idea I've heard on the commission is the Paseo Balcan project. And that will gain more revenue to help pay for the infrastructure in the areas that we really need it, and they need it terribly. I'm on those roads every day. And once Paseo de Balcan opens, of course, there'll be manufacturing and commercial businesses, and it'll alleviate the heavy traffic, you know. And I really think that Sandoval County is ripe for development. And the future growth of Sandoval County is the future growth of New Mexico. We're growing so fast. But we're behind when it comes to infrastructure, and we need to get funding for that. And I think the PDV is a perfect way to get that done.
Thank you. And next question is on workforce development. Today we're in the Career Technical Education Facility. Hopefully it opens next year if we get the funding from the state. From the standpoint, if you're a county commissioner, what will you do to help with workforce development in Sandoval County so that they can fill these high-paying jobs that are available?
Well, I read about, I went online and looked up Upskill Sandoval, and I think that that's the workforce program that provides opportunities for the local workforce to pursue the free training and education opportunities. I think we need to really focus in, again, as I said before, on training people and make them more hireable so that people want to hire them. I understand that Sandoval County has already filled 1,500 jobs, and that's not even including Intel. So they're on the right track. I would love to be a part of that because I love hiring people. Not as much as firing them, truthfully. But I really think that it's kind of like a garden. You know, you have to plant what you want intentionally. You got to plan it out and plant what you want to grow. So wherever you put your money and your seed, that's going to grow. So I would like to see growth in that area. And also, I wanted to mention this little quote that I saw. Can I? It was from an economist, Wilford Beckerman, and he said, "If growth were to be abandoned as an objective of policy, democracy too would have to be abandoned." It's all tied to our freedom. And because we are the fastest growing county in the state, we must grow it safely and sensibly and be intentional about it. We need a solid plan. And I am for getting new businesses here, more worker training, retraining. They need retraining. Starting in high school. Starting in high school. Education is important, but if you can't wait for a job, learn a trade. Stimulate the economic growth. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So next question is, with all this growth comes a need for services. Behavioral health services have seen a dramatic increase in need in our county. What are your thoughts on that, and what plans would you have over the next 4 years to expand behavioral health services in Sandoval County?
This is personal for me because my father never really knew his father. My father was abandoned by his father, and then he finally found his whereabouts in San Francisco, but he had already passed. And when he was able to get the death certificate and find out what had happened, he had died a homeless man. This is something that is extremely important and rising every day. We are dealing with more and more of this. It's heartbreaking. It's become a huge problem. And yes, the numbers are up, especially since COVID. We need more behavioral health provisions. And it doesn't help that we've got a ton of drugs coming in, destroying our communities, our families. And along with that and homelessness, it's escalated, especially during the government shutdowns, okay, which my opponent supported, okay? This has opened the door to an increase of substance abuse, child abuse, human trafficking, sex trafficking, and every level of crime. This open border has perpetuated this problem. And you got to turn the faucet off before you can fix the leak, okay? So we can keep throwing money and funds and ideas at this, but until we have control over it, this is going to be perpetual, okay? The problem has been left to the counties because the governor's not taking care of it. And so this is going to be like a money pit, but we care about our people and we want to fix it. The other thing is, not all homeless are the same. There are different types of homeless peoples that some are getting arrested, which those are the ones going to the detention centers and getting that behavioral health funds that are coming. But then there are others that are veterans and those that have made bad decisions and lost everything. Some have the intent to do harm, but I think they all deserve a choice. They all deserve to be taken care of somehow because they all have value. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. All right, that's all the questions.
That's
You're
it?
already at the closing. So 1 minute for your closing, please.
1 minute. This is an honor. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This is the quickest forum I've ever been to. I hope I have clarified for you the distinction between me and my opponent. And I am committed to make Sandoval County safer and stronger. That's why I'm running. I'm one of you. I want to make a difference. This is my home. This is where I want my grandchildren to grow up, and I want them to have their babies. I'm investing in this for them and for the people. I love people. I know a lot of people don't love people. I love people. And I'm going to do everything that I can and be your advocate, but most of all, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to you. I really think that if you knew me as a person, you would know how hard I work. I never stop. I am a machine. But I will be a machine for the people. I appreciate your vote. Jeanette Clark for Sandoval County Commissioner, District 1. Thank you.
Ms. Clark, I have one additional question I forgot to ask. This came
Yes,
in.
I'm married.
I
I'm kidding.
apologize. This came in from the audience. I know.
Oh, how nice.
The question is where are you at with voter integrity?
May I drink some water?
Yes.
Because I didn't get to have those little mini breaks while the opponent got to. Now you're going to watch me do this, aren't you? Where am I at? Well,
Yes.
I believe that I would hope, just like most Americans, that every legal vote should be counted. Okay? I believe in fairness in elections. And I think that we have a lot of improvement that we need to do. And I think it's going to take, it's a bipartisan issue, okay? I mean, I would think all parties would want our elections to be safe and fair. So this is not a Republican or conservative issue, although it seems like it's been turned into that. It's not. It's for all Americans. We all deserve our vote to be counted. I will tell you that from what I understand, over 70% of the citizens agree that there needs to be voter ID. And I think that's a good idea. I mean, I have to show my ID when I got my Amazon parrot, who's a rescue, and my rehome Jack Russell terrorist. And I had to show an ID to do that. Why wouldn't we expect to have to show our IDs when we vote for the leader of the free world? That's huge. So yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's prudent and reasonable and rational. We should have voter ID. Absolutely. Is that good?
There you go.
Did I answer it right?
Thank you, Mrs. Jeanette Clark. Appreciate you
Yes.
being here today.
You-
Sandoval County Commissioner, District 1,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
There you go. All right.
That was a
last
quick
one.